Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to another scene set in A Chronicles of Darkness Vampire the Requiem, a Requiem for London. Tonight, this scene takes place at the Vertex Club, the domain of a young Deva Ancilla, known as Blair. A popular meeting place for kindred. It has a healthy nightlife. Many vessels of a wide variety to feed upon, and a fair few facilities to entertain oneself if a kindred is looking for something other than the challenge of the hunt. As there are many games of chance. Many indeed. What was it? This is the part where you introduce yourselves. How dare you?
I had food in my mouth. But Goodman would arrive at the party, hopefully not being stopped at the door, as he is somewhat of a familiar face.
No, you're not stopped at the door. When you enter the casino, you find it's very Americanized. The casino is quite large, and there are large TV screens all over the place, particularly over the solitaire games. There's a very large stretch of solitaire games. The further you get into the into first floor, and it's definitely has the more aging demographic there, more middle-aged people, and the large TV screens are sort of showing a mixture of British and American sport and news. You can see that it's very spacious. All the tables, there are various open rooms that are really only barred by the sort of glass panes, not walls, so people can see what's going on, or just sort of on a slightly elevated platform with metal bars and railings. You can see quite a few people playing various games, poker, blackjack, etc. There are low stakes tables, high stakes tables, but it's the higher stakes tables that appear to attract the most attention.
Taking notice of all these people and the environment. Excuse me. If there's a little bit more of a vacated area, Julian will take the time to spend a midday to spend a blush of life and go to the craps table. Then take notice of the whole place, because this is the first time he's been in a casino directly. He's only seen the stuff on television and movies, and he kind of just looks back and forth, seeing all the people, having a somewhat of a nose out if one of these people might be a little special, because this seems like a rife area for his kind to survive in as he gets to the table.
Well, there is there are in fact a couple of individuals. Just trying to find their Where's he gone? You bastard. There we go. Yeah, you see a couple of individuals. First is this woman who doesn't appear to be doing much in particular, but you can sense the predatory aura around her. She has quite a formal look on. She's wearing a suit, no tie though, and has one of those little napkins in the suit pocket. Fairly classy, but also has that sort of charming casual look to it. She's just leaning up against the bar. She has a couple of people around her. An Asian man and woman of similar height and build, and she appears to be talking to them, but they do not appear to trip your kindred senses insofar as them being kindred themselves. They don't seem to have a predatory aura. There is also this gentleman who is actually at the craps table, and he very much triggers your predatory senses as well.
Julian would, as he's sitting and kind of speaking to the players around him, figuring out the state of the table, kind of absentmindedly wave at him.
He acknowledges you. He actually smiles quite brightly. He seems to be very casually talking with the people he's playing against. He is he's got quite a modest haul right now. It appears to be a fairly interesting game. He'll go, another challenger to join the table.
Yeah. He nods, and Julian will have a small smile on his face. I said, "I'm one to hopefully makes this table prosper." As he looks to everybody and goes, and I don't actually know the rules of craps, but I'll just say it in this way. Every time we get about $30 or $40 on the table, I'll make sure to buy everybody a drink of their choice. So be lucky.
It is literally, you literally picked for one gambling game I don't know the rules to. Thanks,
I don't know either.
I don't know. God damn it. Let's see. I'm actually looking up the rules right now.
That's just the one I'm most familiar hearing about. That's relatively a fun and neutral game. You're not really, it's mainly players versus the house instead of everybody else, everybody individually and the house. I believe it's one of the more truly social games. If anything, what you're really doing is just trying to waste time and have a good time and maybe make some money. But I hear some people that are either really lucky or supposedly good at the game. They make a good amount of money on it for everybody relatively easily. Yep. There it
While I'm
is.
looking up the rules for this goddamn game, feel free to introduce yourselves.
Yeah, Natalia is, she's dressing somewhat nicely, for the occasion. And yeah, she's not going to the tables. She's had her gambling itch scratched not too long ago. So she's just, takes a look around, probably feels the same auras as um, Julian did, and she'll notice Julian, and she won't say anything at the moment. She will just like, is there? I'm guessing there's a fairly large bar of some description.
I would say it doesn't take too long after Natalia has made herself comfortable at the bar that Marcus will be dressing appropriately for the surroundings, will be, how should I say, almost swaggering in. He seems to be in a particularly good mood and just seems to be looking around. Uh, he'll notice Natalia, give her a nod, and then just slowly saunter over to Mr. Goodman.
When Goodman sees Natalia and Irons, he makes sure to handshake Mr. Irons, and he will give a very polite hug to Natalia. And tells him the bounty he put on the table, saying that if we can make at least $30 or $40 every round, he'll buy everybody drinks. And Goodman looks absolutely vibrant for Kindred right now.
You're looking good today, mate. He says to Julian.
I've been able to eat better these days. And less accidents on the floor.
Ah, gotcha. Less messes to mop up.
Yep.
Subtle, guys.
Mhm.
Subtle, guys. So let's hope for just normal night with just drink. I'm gonna go drink. Anyone of you want to go drink?
Hey, if you win us money, you'll get all the drinks you want.
Want to play some
Yeah,
dice?
no.
And I thought you were a person of adventure. I guess I was wrong.
Yeah, sometimes, but I'm not buying you drinks.
No, he'll be buying you. Well, actually, no. I believe you will be buying him drinks. Yes.
You know what? Just let me grab myself a refreshment, and I think I'll join this table.
Of course. A pleasure to meet you all. My name is Hallam.
Marcus, pleasure to meet you.
Alley Cat. You've heard of Hallam.
Oh shit! I didn't intro. Ellie walks in. Hi.
That's right.
Sorry.
That's right.
Best intro ever.
It's the best way to get
intro
intro.
ever.
By the
It's
way,
like-
you are here now, whether you want to be or not. If you intro or not, I'm telling you shit. So Ali, no, you perhaps overhear part of this conversation, and when you hear the name Hallam, rings a bell in your head. Fairly infamous Carthian, actually.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ah.
he's known as a bit of a Han Solo,
Oh God.
a bit of a jammy prick, really.
My kind of guy.
Has that is known for swaggering around and getting himself into far more dangerous trouble than he should be able to get out of, but always manages to slip on out while giving the Invictus a black eye. No one really knows how he does it. He always whenever he comes back with a successful adventure, because they're not really missions. He tends to be very sparse on the details, although he is always very happy to take credit. He's cost the Invictus quite a lot of money and several kindred in his time here. He's only been in the domain for a few years.
Now watch me wipe a tear for the poor Invictus.
Hmm.
No, I don't care. Yeah, Ellie will just kind of wander over. Not really like obvious, just kind of wandering over, and it's just watching.
If it isn't the Carthian's chief mouser.
Nice to meet you too.
It is an honor. He bows from his seat, illustriously.
Okay. Ellie is just looking at him like, seriously, really, dude? What?
Marcus just sniggers.
I can assure you the honor is all mine. So, caught any rats in your trap lately?
I believe you're about to witness it.
Oh? Her eyes kind of go over to Natalia, like... She won't say anything, though. It's just like... Huh?
Don't worry, no exploding gas mains this time. Just bankrupting the local populace. He looks around the casino.
I guess you're way better at that than I am. I'm just a small fry.
Oh, no. Not at all. Well, yes, but not at this, after all. This is a game of chance. It is not the same as blackjack or poker. There's no real skill involved.
Well, then this should be the game that I'm best at, something with no skill involved. We can't all be as masterful as you are, after all.
Now, don't sell yourself. Sorry, don't sell yourself short.
Yes, do the complete opposite. I want to make more money. To be fair, I'll give all yours back.
How incredibly generous.
Well, you know what I am considered something of a local Robin Hood.
Aha, stealing from the rich and keeping it for yourself. That's how it was in the original ballads. There we go.
In this case, I feel like I'm stealing from the poor and keeping it for myself, which is far less noble.
Wait, he says the building kind of just points upwards to the ceiling. Like, what kind of building do you think you're in?
Oh, yes, very rich, and they'll soon be very poor. What I mean is the rest of you.
I think he just wants to convince us to just walk away.
You know, that may be my goal. Perhaps I do not wish to bankrupt you at all.
Or maybe he's afraid that we'll cheat, as he says in a low voice. Nobody can see our little tricks. Just us.
Very much so. So,
This is
who's
a
down for
public
some
venue.
dice?
And Dylan would have grabbed the dice in his hands, unless one of the other people was, unless it was one of the other people's turns.
Well, Natalia is has just looked. She hasn't said anything. She's just overheard this person, and she just says, "No, no, I'm out. I'm just going to have a drink. See you around." And Natalia will just go and sit in the corner. Not really. Sit at the bar for the moment.
You see someone at the bar.
Oh no.
She notices you quite quickly. As
Oh
soon as you
no.
begin approaching, her eyes sort of
Oh, I recognize. Oh shit. Okay, yeah, let's do this. Okay.
sharply turn to you, and she gives you a smile, almost, and that seems to just be filled with just the promise of future violence. She
Oh yeah.
starts leaning off the
That
bar.
that
and,
sounds pretty much on point. Yeah.
She and her two associates just seem to lock eyes with you as you approach the bar. They're at the center. They almost form like a soft wall of sorts. Like you have to go around them
She will.
to the edge of the bar. It should be noted, her skin is flush with life. She is quite clearly using the blood to make herself appear more healthy.
Natalia will
She's
do
taken a
this.
drink.
Yeah, Natalia will do this as well. Well, she would have as she entered, but yeah. But she just goes past them and will order herself something. Are they eyeing me? Like, are they doing a stare down, or are they just occupied with their own conversation?
They're definitely paying attention to you. When you go talk to the bartender, to buy a drink, you notice she says something to him, but you can't quite make it out.
Yeah, she'll order. She'll just order whiskey.
Okay.
She will
When
also ask. She will also ask. Did my best friend over there say something to you, or?
no, love, she just wanted to give you a gift of sorts. On the house. When he gives you when he gives you your drink, he leaves a sort of folded napkin right next to it.
Natalia just takes a breath, or like, just takes a deep breath, and then she'll open the napkin and see what's in it. Try not to show it to other people around, and try not to touch whatever's inside, because this might be a miniature bomb or whatever.
No, it's a shot of your former kneecap.
Okay, yeah, again, that's very on point.
With an OXOX.
That's real classy. Like, you could start it by just talking to me. Like, that's fine. Like, you can do whatever. Like, it's fine. I mean, if I did not know better, I would say that, and she packs it in the thing and puts it away. It's like a sign of affection a few times, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Her associates like kind of look at her as if asking permission to do something, but she sort of just waves them off with a smile. And leans over the bar to so she can get a good look at you and speak to you. And she says, in a fairly heavy Chinese accent, but also also very fluent and easy to understand. She says, "Yes, you're right. I can do whatever I want to you." There is a distinctive pause.
How
Well-
audible is that for other people to hear?
She doesn't yell it, but she does say it loud enough that it can be heard across from one side of the bar to the other, so it's not exactly quiet either. You could probably overhear it.
I would say Marcus, who had scuttled up to get himself a rum coke, hears that and turns his head towards the two of them, observing.
Where Julian notices Marcus getting closer to Natalia, talking to the woman he knows that is a kindred. He kind of messes with his hat a little bit and just kind of breathes under his breath. It's like, can I go one day without possibly getting stabbed or shot at today?
Well, that's pretty much where you're wrong. Like, you could at one point have done anything to me, but not really anymore. I would say that I've paid for the mistake, so you can get your rocks off doing, well, what you did. That's fine, but I'm sure you have other people you can do it with that is less trouble to get. Maybe that's me being hopeful, but hey, what do I know?
Hey, Natalia, everything okay? And
Yeah,
he takes a
everything
sip.
is good. Everything is good.
Cool. And he'll return back and sit down beside Mr. Goodman, getting ready for the game.
Oh, you have a boy wonder. That's cute.
No.
I guess our little affair left more of an impact than that little gift, then, didn't it?
Irons, I was planning on not working today, he says in a mildly irritated tone.
Can you repeat that, Chris? Because I couldn't quite get it.
She says, well, I guess our little affair did leave left more of an impact than that little gift, then, didn't it? She obviously is referring to the shot of bone she sent to you.
Yeah, and she was first of all, I'm gay, and secondly, No, it's called having friends. I know it's a strange and weird concept to you, but yeah, it's like people who care for each other. It's human emotion, you know. It's a strange concept, I know, but well, you don't need that anymore. So I get it, I get it. But yeah, have fun with your stuff. Like, do you do other things, or just your like both occupation and hobby? I'm curious.
I'm just here for the fun, dear.
Also, you don't even call the shots. You just open up and do the work and go home. Okay, I get it. That's fine. I mean, I can. Well, I can't respect that in any way. And you know, wow, that's really creepy. But yeah,
But you've already seen me at work.
I would say so. Yeah, I have. But why would you go out of your way to threaten me again? I don't get that. Like, isn't that like unprofessional or a thing you just don't do in your entire line of work?
Oh, you must be quite fresh to my world if you don't understand why, but that's fine.
Luckily, I am. Yeah.
She smiles at you in a way as if to contradict your statement.
There is a distinct uh, returned expression of like very active uh, loathing or just not wanting anything to do with him or her, or not wanting to give her the satisfaction of anything. That's how you know she's right, essentially. So she goes, well, it's a good thing then that we don't have to associate, I suppose.
She meets you with silence. The smile, for some reason, has faded from her face. She pays the barkeep, says something in Mandarin to her associates, and goes to leave.
As she's about to leave, no, Natalia doesn't say anything. She just she like Natalia just takes a drink and just shakes her head and just tries to ignore it for the moment.
Back to the craps table. I still don't know the rules.
Reroll dice, things happens. Like any
You
game.
roll
No,
dice.
I think it's you need to roll
There's a pass
under
line and a don't pass line.
like you need to roll under a certain amount, but if you roll like, with two dice, and if you roll a 7, it's always good, and you increase your pot, I think. And it's something where you roll for numbers, and you need to roll under a certain amount you call out. I think I have never played craps, so.
As this basic Google search tell me, if the combined value of two dice on a come out roll equals 2, 3, or 12, then that is a crapped out and the round is over. Players who lose pass line bets and win do not pass bets. If the come out roll is 7 or 11, the round is also over. Players win pass line bets and lose don't pass bets.
But you can also make other bets outside of bets, so yeah. So, Helen looks at you all. Anyone down for a game?
Sure. What's the minimum here?
He's actually sitting at a fairly high stakes table, so the minimum to buy in is fairly high.
What sort of resource dots are we talking about?
And to just buy in, you're just talking about like a single resource dot.
Go ahead and buy.
As in, are we talking about hundreds, thousands, 10,000s?
Um, One second. Let me get an average. High stakes. Buy-in. Okay. Yeah, it's about okay. Yeah, high stakes is fairly expensive. It's like you're talking about like a 500 plus buy-in.
Yeah, that's too expensive for Marcus, so he'll just tap out when he hears how much the buy-in is and goes like...
Yeah, you're kind of out of pocket this month anyway. You
Yeah,
can't,
exactly.
because of your you can't actually. You don't have the money to buy in, so
Yeah, so he just says like, nah, that's too high for me. Good luck, and he taps Goodman on the shoulder. Best of luck, mate.
He nods.
okay. So what's gonna happen here? If you want to buy in, whoever wants to buy in, is that whoever is playing, roll a d10.
Okay.
And whoever gets the highest roll wins that particular round. Okay. All right. So is it just Julian who's playing?
I think Julian's the only one that can afford it.
Natalia can play, but well, fuck it. I'll just join. Sure.
Yes, come
I'll join.
on. Help you take your mind off things.
It's going to need a lot more alcohol or quite different games, but I get the gist. Yeah, sure.
Trust me, when those dice start rolling, you're going to go on quite an adventure.
There is a distinct sigh and a roll of eyes when he says that.
So, so currently, you have to match an 8, Natalia. If you draw, you both effectively make the same bet and you both win.
Okay, so just roll one dice. It's just one dice.
Yeah, because you're betting on the outcome for the
Ah!
So, wow. Okay, you split the pot evenly between you. So, it's not just you. There's a couple of other faces present. So, everybody invests a temporary resource dot into this pot. It would equate to about 4 resources, so quite a large amount of money immediately hits the table. And it is Julian and Natalia who end up making a don't pass bet and end up winning.
Julian will keep to his word. If, since I didn't know how high a table was, I'll just take it to make the proper ratio as it is, and everybody gets a drink. Choose whatever
Everybody
they
gets
want.
a drink. Okay, everybody roll again. You can choose to invest more resource slots if you want.
Yeah, all right now.
Okay. Ooh.
Is the bot broken? Or what the fuck is going on?
Okay. So Hallam actually decides to bet a bit more on
So
the next round. He loses again, but he invests a little bit more, a fair bit more, enough for it to be noticeable. It's not like he's just throwing a chip in there. He throws in a few more thousand.
Ellie's just kind of looking because she doesn't want to waste her resources.
Marcus
Yeah.
is just shaking his head at the amounts that are being bet.
Natalia's gonna pass on this one. Pass on this round.
Okay. So all right.
you're not leaving me behind, are you?
Yeah, just need a moment.
Okay. So you'll choose to. Okay, you'll forfeit some. Obviously, some of your money, but because you are pulling out early, you do not lose a whole lot.
Well, I did win 2 times, and you can make
Yeah.
you can. I think it's like blackjack. Like you don't lose anything, or you maybe have like a blind. You have to.
Yeah, I think
put
that's
in.
it. Like, I think you have
Okay.
to put in a minimum amount for each round.
Okay.
So
Well, if I've put in a minimum amount, I'll play anyway.
okay, yeah, then just feel free to roll, but you will get less for this.
Sure.
I'm not sure what the. Ooh.
Buy that.
Okay, so oh. Yeah, you don't win, Julian.
Yeah.
It is Hallam this time who takes home the prize. Pulling up big sixes. Lucky boy. But because Natalia pulled out a bit earlier, she doesn't lose he doesn't gain as much as he perhaps would have liked. But if he thinks status, he's certainly not showing it. He appears quite happy with how things are going so far.
So,
He will-
what do you do other than gambling and being, well, you?
Well, I guess you could call me a bit of an urban explorer.
You do parkour? Or what?
Mm,
Isn't that what it's also called?
yes, I do parkour, but you could say it's an extension of my larger profession.
Ali smirks.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, it's totally fine.
What do you say? I'm a fixer. People come to me with problems and I solve them.
Oh, okay. Okay. That explains, yeah. Okay. So, the lady who was here before, the woman that left not too long ago, is a friend of yours?
No, I bankrupted her a few minutes ago.
Ah, well, you know what? I'm going to buy you a drink. And Natalia will go up and buy him a drink of his choice.
Okay. You are far too kind.
No. No, I'm not.
Hmm.
Yeah, you know,
Thank you.
everyone should be rewarded for doing good work, honestly.
You know, I couldn't agree more. Anywho, everybody roll again. Ham will again introduce some more money to the pot, forcing everybody to match it.
Natalia is actually looking to see if there are other games like blackjack.
Same here.
All right.
Just or card games in general.
Okay. So has everybody rolled again?
Yes.
Pete, you need to roll.
Oh, okay.
We are now at 2 resource dots worth of
So, okay. I thought I was not playing. Oh, okay.
okay. And Ham comes around with another win. He takes quite a lot of both your respective pots of you this time. But he throws it right back in.
Julian kind of gives him a oblique look.
You know, this is an odd night for me. Often I have a good start and a weak finish, but that appears to be your fate this evening.
And just to ask, and I don't know there's a particular role for this, I'm not sensing any supernatural cheating, am I?
No, but then again, you don't necessarily have the capacity to do so.
Yeah.
It is unless it were particularly obvious.
Yeah, well, I know for a fact he's not messing with his beast, so at least when it comes like to lashing out or anything.
No, his piece doesn't appear to be doing anything. Funnily enough, if Natalia, you could actually check using Auspex.
Yeah, I was actually looking at that right as you said it. I was looking at. I do have Auspex, right? Yeah, I'm actually going to
Just
try that.
Natalia
What, sorry?
asked if it was only you.
You can, yeah. Anybody of Auspex can check.
What is the role for Auspex?
You know what? I'll check.
It would, yeah, it'd be.
Is it wits? Blood pot? No.
It would be Auspex 1, and basically, yeah, to check if somebody is cheating or using a power at this game.
Yeah,
Is it
but
just your Auspex rating then?
Just
No. It's something else plus Auspex rating, I think.
it's your Auspex plus. So let me read out the book. It's plus your It's wits plus Auspex plus empathy. It's the beast hackles.
Mm-hmm. I bought empathy. Yes, I did.
4, and I have 1 success.
Okay, that's all you need.
Oh wait, it's 3. So it's wits plus empathy plus your Auspex, right?
Yes.
Okay. And just out of curiosity, I don't think that works on like do merits work on Auspex rolls? AKA does my acute senses trained observer?
No, that wouldn't apply here.
Okay. I figured. Okay.
Okay.
Still 2 successes.
So you both you both don't get you don't get any reading from him. He doesn't appear to be using any power, any discipline. Although you do notice something odd. His eyes seem to crackle with electricity upon using your powers, and only you see this. Nobody else sees this, and a crow appears to be perched on his shoulder that appears to be eyeing you warily. When you use your powers, it looks at you directly. But Hallam appears to be doing his own thing. It doesn't appear to notice you if you're staring at him.
And what was his I want to say bloodline, but you get what I mean. Clan. What was his clan again?
He's of the Gangrel clan.
Okay. Ellie is going to keep a closer eye on his eyes.
His bird was not there before, right?
His.
You said there's a
The
bird.
crow that is perched on his shoulders can seemingly only be seen by you, any Auspex users.
That's weird.
But he'll at this point he'll push all the money in, all the money that he's made, and we'll say double or nothing. Tell you what, if I win, I'll buy you a drink.
Marcus.
Wow.
All
Okay.
of Alice just leaves because he can't bear the sheer amount of money that's being pushed around.
Yeah, this is
And-
actually quite a lot of
Just-
money now. This is free resource.
Just
money.
before
Yeah.
that, like, oh,
Oh.
is the bird your friend? I'm just wondering, like,
The what? Who?
the bird on your shoulder. She looks at him.
He looks at his shoulder and then looks back at you. Like with that very very sardonic, confused look.
Does it seem genuine?
Can make me a wits empathy roll. You are oh my god. Yeah, his you are minus 5 dice. He's a very, very, very smooth operator, as it were.
Aha! Suck it! That was a chance die. Suck it.
So
Air drums. Brr.
there is a lol. There is a hint of knowing there, but it's largely genuine. He like like you've caught him off in some way, but at the same time he doesn't seem to fully understand. It's like he's suspicious of something, but he doesn't actually know. Yeah, it's like he's suspicious of you now, and that's perhaps the most you get from his expression. He appears confused and a little bit suspicious of you, a little bit wary. He looks as if the way he reacted definitely seems to suggest perhaps more understanding than he's letting on, but he does seem genuinely like confused and suspicious for the most part.
I was just wondering, like, you know, people like play these games like they have lucky charms. I get it, but I mean, you know, everything that makes you feel good and relax when you play. But I would be a little bit, you know, annoyed if someone was getting help playing. You know.
Yeah. When Julia hears you talking like that, he kind of gives her a look like, "Hey, not so loud," and then he looks over to, is it Helen or Kellum?
Hallam.
Helen, and he looks over to Helen with sharper eyes.
Quick question though, because like I said before, I am going to zoom in more on like his eyes. I'm gonna keep track of that because, you know, friendly paranoid is a bitch, I guess. So Ellie is just kind of walking around the table, just, you know, looking at the game. She's not playing. She's not, you know, but she's trying to see his eyes from different angles and in different lights. Because I'm paranoid, or Ellie is paranoid.
You don't see anything suspicious.
Okay.
You look
Just
a bit
kicking.
weird creeping around the table like some sort of.
You know what, Helen? It's fine. Like, forget it. It's
I
fine.
don't know what I did to deserve these accusations.
No, you know what? I'm out of line. That was like a bitch move of me. Like, that's just part of me. Like, I'm a bitch. It happens. I do apologize. Okay?
Well, I appreciate it.
What? You
Okay.
appreciate me being a bitch?
No, I appreciate you apologizing.
Haha, got you. Yeah, let's play.
All right then, bitch. He's the shooter for the round, and he'll well, actually, no, he's not the shooter for the round. Natalia, you're the shooter for the round.
And I have rolled a success.
Have you? Everybody roll.
I've just did.
By that I mean Julian.
Look at me.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Tolo, when you roll the dice, that crow that's been looking at you, it gives you a rather dissatisfied, almost angry sounding caw. A very very direct cry. And as the dice roll, they turn up about as poorly for you as they could have possibly done. And turn up precisely the number Hallam needs to win.
Oh, please don't tell me he did that. Don't make me have to frenzy on him. Because he may not make it, gang girl or not.
And then
Natalia just sighs, looks at him.
the crow perches over the dice and looks at you. And the energy in Hallam's eyes almost seems to surround his whole body. As the crow begins to sort of fly and hover around him, emitting it the same cry it gave you.
Well, at least I've got my answer. You should really play fair, you know.
Now, with that, Julian looks very harsh at Hallam. And
Alley Cat, you also see what Natalia saw. But
But she's like, I don't want to raise, an argument in the middle of this crowded place,
Besides, he's your boy. He's your boy.
I mean, sort of, kinda. Carthians are kind of supposed to back each other up, but it's more like, if this was an only kindred place, she may have, not kept her mouth that much, but there's people here.
God damn it. I just wanted to have a nice night, just once.
You know how it is.
So you accuse me, then back off, then you lose, now you're accusing me again. Really?
Like I told you, I'm a bitch.
So how about we don't discuss this here, if we want to discuss this at all? Anyone want to go out for a smoke? And she's kind of looking at
let's
Hallam
do that.
specifically.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go. Come.
You do that. I'm going to cash out.
No. How are the people reacting? Because that's one thing you don't ever want to say at a casino is somebody's cheating, and especially the house, because then people sometimes get into a literal frenzy. Like, are you cheating?
Yeah, no. This does draw some attention from the attendees, particularly the dealer, who, as soon as he goes to cash out, calls begins to call somebody as he hurries over to cash out, and is given his money. A lot of the other kindred at the event begins to check for dice, but he doesn't see anything. And anybody who does check the dice notice the dice is completely legit. The table, the dice. If you go to check anything, there is nothing untoward about what has happened.
When
there is no evidence anything weird has happened, apart from, obviously, Ali Kandatala, who saw something very weird happen.
When Helen begins to leave,
he heads over to the area where you to the exchange,
Yeah.
Where you exchange cash for chips, etc., and the other way around.
Yeah. Before he leaves, Julian will eye him and not necessarily any very loud, but very focused and controlled tone. And he says, and I'll make it a divination roll for this. Did you cheat me? And if there is anything small that people may not notice that Julian puts in his hand, he'll try to make it as a strength intimidation roll and try to crush that item in his hand. If not, then I'm assuming either charisma or manipulation.
Yeah, make me a strength plus intimidation roll, although you're not really in optimal surroundings for this.
Yeah, like I said, I can't just break a table in half. I could flip a table without getting me kicked out.
So I'm going to give you... actually, we'll make this a contested roll between his resolve plus composure and your... I'll say presence plus intimidation.
Okay. Let's see. I believe my presence is only
Crushing like, crushing a glass or something, or, Remember, you are in the territory of another kindred.
I am.
Vandalism here would probably not be well received by the host, who is not currently present.
No,
but no doubt this is a casino. Yeah, there's eyes everywhere in a casino, so if it would probably get back to the host if.
Yeah, like I'm not
you
flipping a
break
table.
something.
Hey,
Yeah.
a glass. Somebody getting angry, smashing a glass. Even mortals do that sometimes, and they have to pay for the glass.
By the way, Ali is just gonna make sure that she's gonna stand between Hallam and the rest of the people, like not in between them, but basically, if need be, that she can try and break up a fight. Just saying.
Yep.
Because he's a Carthian.
I am challenging him. He's not challenging me, so I don't get my extra dice.
Well, what's your extra dice from?
I said I'm challenging him. He's not challenging me, so I don't get my extra dice.
Ah, yeah.
Because my intimidation is when I am challenged.
While that's going on in the distance, faintly, people can hear Marcus saying, "Daddy needs a new pair of boots," as he's throwing his dice at the low stakes craps table.
Actually, no. You know what, Marcus? For some reason today,
Mm-hmm.
and actually, Natalia and Ali again. They see the crow hovering around the You see the crow hovering around the casino, and it sees Marcus having a pretty terrible time. Then it lands on his shoulder, and then those dice, man, they just suddenly come up big sixes for him. Wow, Marcus, you make back all your money.
Marcus is very pleased with that. And to be fair, he's old and ugly enough to know that, if you're winning, he goes back. He leaves the table and just thinks, you know what, that's fair. Didn't lose any money today.
Chris?
Yes.
This raven, what does it kind of look like?
It's a crow. It's not a raven.
Crow, fine. But is it do you just kind of see the feathers, or is it more like a black mass, or I don't know, like spirit kind of thingy?
It's like that your vision is a manifestation of your beast trying to tell you something. Perhaps the manner in which it's telling you is confusing because it itself hasn't necessarily perceived this before, or perhaps this is how this is meant to be perceived, and you personally haven't seen this before. So it's it's a bit difficult to tell, but it doesn't appear shadowy, or it appears like a literal crow. But it's obviously its connection to the dice rolls is not a coincidence. So yeah, it's almost acting like some sort of spiritual familiar. But
Okay.
you don't think the crow is actually there. You think this is a way of your beast trying to tell you something abstractly, something the beast itself doesn't quite understand. Perhaps there is something interfering with your auspex, or perhaps your beast simply doesn't know what this is.
And to whom did this territory belong again? Like
Belong
clan
to an Invictus. It should be noted that this guy has kind of ransacked the house. At his tables, at least.
Yeah, like the woman that left earlier that he robbed or cleaned out was also Invictus.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I mean, I think there's really like just the tiniest hint of a smile, on Ellie's lips.
So, Julian, you very aggressively confront him. He takes a step back. You're a very broad and strong-looking man, but he kind of, he pulls up his chin and he says, "Sir, I've done nothing of the sort. You can check for dice, for table, dealers, etc. I mean, these dealers certainly aren't with me. Hell no."
Natalia will come up close and she will just look at him and whisper to him, "I saw the bird and I saw it flipping over my dice. So, yeah,
What is with
something's
you
off.
and us?
The bird I can see. It sat on your shoulders. I saw it."
Well, that either means you're crazy or you were using some sort of predictive power of your own.
No,
Hmm?
no. It means that you were getting help, which is a problem. You kind of took my money, but give me back my money and we'll forget all about it. How about that?
I certainly didn't receive any help. That I can assure you.
And with that, Julia looks over to Helming and he says, a mixture of emphatic and rage. And he says, "Brother, are you saying that she's a liar?"
Well, I'm saying she's crazy for seeing a bird on my shoulder. I don't have a bird on my shoulder. I don't have a bird flipping over your dice.
Well, that's what it looks like to me, so whatever it is.
And at this point, Julia will point at him because I may have lost 3 dots of spending money, but everything else is paid for, so I'm fine. But he just points at him and goes, "If I find out that you had any reason to put this game in your favor when I was planning on having a simple and good night, I ain't going to do anything permanent, but you'll know it was me."
Don't worry, I don't think there'll be a problem, he says as he just begins to walk out. As he walks by, out of eye line of everybody else, he gives Ali Cat a wink. And heads on out. The crow, Natalia and Ali Cat, you see, heads on out with him, and perches itself on his shoulder as he walks on out. And once he gets to the doors, as everybody else situated at the time, Marcus is at a table, Alley Cat and Natalia and Julian are sort of standing around in the middle of the room.
Pretty much.
Yeah, like I said, Ellie is sort of, standing between Natalia and Julian and Hallam, who is now leaving. But
Marcus would be
Carthian backup.
Yeah. And Marcus would be leaving the table, deciding that since he didn't lose any money tonight, he'll thank fortune and slowly mosey over to Mr. Goodman.
Goodman looks obviously irritated.
Oh, my friend, what happened?
So that cunt might have been cheating.
As he gets to the doors, he'll say to Julian, "Please send the host my regards."
Boy, he needs to quit it.
Okay, Mr. Goodman, have you got any proof for that? I mean, it's...
He will gesture to Natalia and said she saw something assisting him on the rolls.
She just kind of just tilts her head and looks tired. And she goes over to him and she says, using Auspex, I saw something on his shoulder that fucked with my dice, at least.
Aha. Was
I
it
mean,
avian?
Yes, it was a bird, and it helped you. You won the last round, right?
Wait, you saw that bird flying to me?
Yes,
Yeah,
it
in the
did.
last round I made back all the money I lost, so I decided to,
She just says, fucker. Well, okay, every fucking night, I'll see you guys later. And
What? Okay. Bye. And he waits and just looks at her in a very confused fashion.
Ali will just look at the two men, and then kind of shrugs and says, "Well, she's Invictus, he's Carthian.
I heard that.
Am I wrong, though?"
There's a pause. And then fucking no, and she just leaves.
Where is the lie,
Natalia is quite honest in general, so she's not bullshitting too much. So yeah, but as soon as Natalia gets out, she will obfuscate. Do I need to be hidden to activate it?
What's the other level of obfuscate?
Now it's 4.
Oh yeah,
shit.
obfuscate 3. You can just vanish from people. You can just bang.
Yeah.
You've been working out.
She will go out and she will activate obfuscate because, yeah, Chinese lady, she doesn't want to bump into her again. So there's probably someone waiting for her to fucking kick the shit out of her. So yeah, she's not doing that. None of that noise. She will disappear.
Julian will look over to Alley Cat and say, "Did you see anything?" And I swear, if you're gonna try to do some family bullshit when I was planning on having a good night, I am not gonna appreciate that.
Define family bullshit.
He does his best not for his fangs to come out and audibly growl like an animal. Like, it would be one thing if I just lost a fair game. But hell, I would be happy if he cheated me like any other proper casino. But if he was doing any tricks or getting help from anybody and you're not telling me, as you have done before, I am going to be upset.
What makes you think that I could see anything?
That's why I'm asking you now, aren't I?
She shrugs. I didn't see anything.
I didn't notice anything either, but why would Natalia lie about that? She doesn't really need to.
On the other hand, a Carthian walks away with a large amount of money from an invaded
Hey,
establishment.
I didn't ask you that. My exact words. No family bullshit. I wanted
that
your
is
honest
my
answer.
assumption. That is my honest answer. That is my assumption. Why do you think that I would know more? Look, I only met the guy tonight, and sure, he's a Carthian. I don't know all Carthians, and I'm not family with all Carthians. We back each other up, but that doesn't mean that I know this guy. Or that we've exchanged phone numbers or anything. And she kind of shows her phone, like, here, if you want to see.
Because the only reason why that's like because you brought up the invaders Carthian thing way too early, and that makes him suspicious.
I mean,
As you speak, you see the hostess with a and two bouncers actually running towards the entrance. You can see Hallam is having a cigarette outside.
God. Fine.
And,
Ali will look at Julian and is like, oh, God, I hate to be caught up in family business.
Oh, when she says
but
that,
as they go to charge him,
poof, birds. Da, da, da.
Caw-caw.
Caw, motherfucker.
the lights all shatter, showering her and her two security two bodyguards in glass. They try to ignore it and they do run through, although this is staying a few minor cuts. But as they approach the door, as the automatic doors close, they stop working. It's almost as if it turns off. The two bodyguards slam straight into the door and obviously get bounced back.
Oh, too
Blair
many
runs straight through it, but as she reaches him, he has already turned into a crow and is flying away.
Ah,
And he's
it's
giving,
Gangrel.
and he is cawing,
Ali blinks.
laughing,
Huh.
and Blair is screaming at that fucking bird.
Didn't see that coming, Ali says.
This,
Quite genuinely.
That explains a few things, but how the fuck did he make those bulbs shatter?
You know what,
Alley
Julian?
Cat.
I take back what I said.
Alley Cat, that literally that
Mm-hmm.
that bird.
Mm-hmm.
It actually just gestured its wings towards the casino and things started to go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
There's just breaths in and out coming from Julian, just big, long, harsh breaths. And
Ellie's kind of raising her shoulder, like her arms, like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Marcus just very, very gently, very slowly places his hand on Julian's shoulder. Come on, mate. Let's grab a drink. Come on, we've been here too long. Let's get some fresh air.
I kind of agree.
begins biting into his teeth, grinding his teeth, that you might hear something crack. And he's gonna go over to the doors where the bouncers bounced off of. And
Well,
what kind of doors are they?
they were hard. Like this is This is not just like pretty looking glass. This is like glass that would take a bullet.
What about the frames
Um,
of the door?
Frames are largely as they were. Blair just went straight through, so she didn't really damage the frames all that much. Funnily enough, the glass shattered before it could really damage the frames too much.
All right, then I am gonna just basically look at the door, like where the center part, where it's not where it's glass, where it's mainly metal or whatever nice material, and I'm punching at the door to basically break the frame so the doors are busted open.
Oh well, I mean it's just shattered glass now. You can literally walk through the remains.
I want to break something.
Do you really want to piss off the hostess even more? But you know, it's fine.
He already broke the damn door.
Still. That she did on her own, like, you know, that's on her. But hey,
that fucking piece of shit.
That as Julian comes out, all right, I'll be nice. This is new territory. I should make more friends.
Oh no, you can break the frame. She doesn't even notice or care.
Okay then, and he'll come walking out, obviously just as maybe not as angry as her, and go, "I'll find him."
Yeah, I wish you fucking luck. I'm trying to track down that fucking bitch for weeks. Keeps sneaking his way back onto here and fucking up my business.
So this isn't the first time he's been, well, you know.
I barred him from this place. I even put up a fucking poster.
And security didn't notice him? Somebody as flamboyant as he is?
Yeah. Somebody's getting fired.
Oh, I'm gonna find him. Said, we're related. I'll find him.
I wish you luck. Last time I tracked him down, I fell into fell down into the fucking sewers. Caused a bloody road to collapse on me.
Crazy thought, but is it known if kindred are able to do any blood magic concerning fate, luck, you know, stuff like that?
I mean, I don't goddamn know. I don't know shit about magic. That's like what? I mean, wait. You're Otto, right?
Yeah, we're Ordo, but we don't
Yeah.
deal with that kind of magic.
Well, I can't.
but
Well,
that's
I'm Invictus. What am I supposed to tell you? I don't know.
Just
Maybe
curious.
some weird aberration. Maybe it's just a bullshit trick like everything else he does.
Wow. Like, I'm getting Nikolai for this. It's bullshit.
Ali is sort of staying in the background, you know? She's like, let's not intervene in this for now.
Do you think it's really worth it, friend?
I was coming here to have a pleasant night. No fights, no arguments. I haven't been this put together and not hungry in weeks. And that guy fucks up my night.
When you're not losing health levels, you're losing money.
Marcus just sighs.
I'm sorry.
Fine, I'll help you.
No, this is very much on me. He should never have been permitted to come in here in the first place. And it was a failure on part of my security team that he got in at all. She looks at the security guards who are literally just dragging themselves to her feet. And she seems to exert a sort of force that makes her quite compelling and attractive to look at. But when her guards occur, they look positively terrified, and scoot on off as she shoos them away like flies. My apologies. I'll reimburse you for the lost income.
This is less about money. This is about principle. It'd be one thing if he was actually good with his hands and cheated me with the dice, or somehow loaded the dice, even though he doesn't even work here. Since craps is supposed to be the house versus the people, but he possibly cheated using disciplines or whatever magic that he has that we said even before we started we weren't going to do because we're trying to have a good time.
So if you weren't trying to have a good time, you would have?
Alley cat, I will throw you into the river from here. Shut up.
Just saying.
Well, if he's cheated a friend of mine out of his money, then yeah, you have my help. I'll make sure that he speaks the truth.
Well, again, I am very sorry.
Who knows?
For what it's worth, so am I.
It's
Ellie says
okay.
that more to Julian than to anyone else. Like, seriously, she's not necessarily saying it to the Invictus lady.
Yeah.
I'll make sure this doesn't happen again. I'll make sure he's certainly not getting into this club again.
Assuming he can't change his face, of course. But no worries, I'll leave a good review online on your casino. I had a good time.
Oh, why, thank you. I'm so appreciative.
And Marcus just shrugs his shoulders. That's what you get for trying to be a nice guy.
Oh, you're fine. It's just and if only I had his scent, then I could find him.
I've got enough problems to deal with for the last thing I need is some jumped up coffee and trying to fuck up my business.
You know what? I'm gonna take your word, Irons. Let's go to that one steak place. I'm hungry.
You know what? I'm paying.
Oh,
Come on.
there's actually a fantastic steak diner just down the road from here.
Thank you.
That'll do. Thank you very much.
She actually directs you. She even pulls it up online for you. It's actually rated pretty highly, but it's a fairly small place.
Nah, that's perfect. Marcus will treat his cheated friend to a nice good steak.
Good evening to the both of you, and I hope you come back again in spite of everything that happened. If you ever want something to drink, this is the place to be.
Gotcha. Maybe not next night, but within the next few, I might come around. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And she actually does point at Julian. I didn't catch your name, by the way.
Julian T. Goodman.
Oh. I've heard of you. From court.
He nods and begins kind of scratching at his nose, doing his best not to pierce the skin.
You know, whenever someone says they've heard of you from court, it generally means nothing good.
Yeah.
Although she appears to be being nice and is not actually referencing whatever it is she said. Let's trade numbers. Pardon?
No, sorry, you go on, because like Ali was just going to ask if she could walk with Marcus and Julian to the place.
Yeah, she just wanted to trade numbers with Julian because they've got a common enemy, some asshole who stole their money.
Yeah, and Julian would give her number. He'll pull out a small piece of note paper from one of his pocket and begin jotting down and pass it over to her.
Thank you. And again, I'm so sorry. You should have never gone in.
So it happens. Actions and mistakes happen all the time. So I
He's
own
a-
a business too.
He's a sly little fox. Well, enjoy the rest of your night out. I hope you enjoy the food.
He nods, and he'll begin moving. Then I believe Elika had something she wanted to say.
Yeah, Ali will ask permission to walk with you guys. She will actually ask. Like, if you guys are like, nah, not now, then Ali will be okay with that. But
Julia will just turn around as like, you up to something with an eyebrow raise.
is the Invictus
she-
still within earshot?
Never.
Ali, if you promise not to pull any questionable shit, I won't mind.
When have I ever?
You know what, Julian? Let's go. And Marcus will try to pull the taller and more muscular built gangrel out of the building. You know, sort of not forcibly, but you know, sort of like, come on, buddy, come on.
And he does a kind of a grunt, but he doesn't say that she can't come because she has helped him live before, and she's technically family.
Mhm. You know, as they're sort of walking away from that building, and they are definitely out of earshot of the Invictus. Ali's just gonna say, "Hey, guys, I didn't know anything about it. I swear."
Oh, it's not the fact that you didn't know anything about it, the fact that you weren't willing to tell me.
I mean, dude, would you tell on a friend of yours, on a family?
It's like, depending on what it is, yes. We do that
Mhm.
all the time. He looks over to Marcus.
Yeah. And anyway, if a mate, and frankly, even if that were my brother, I'd still give him a slap for cheating.
I mean, but you wouldn't do it publicly. So, look, all I'm saying is,
Okay.
Julian, if there's a way that I can, like, you know, I don't mind paying you the money that you lost. Like, you know,
No, she's covering it. This is not about the money.
I know it's not about the money, but the offer is there. Like, I get you.
It's a goddamn principle.
Can't
Again, I get you.
No, man,
but-
I'm not gonna tear him apart. I'm just gonna bruise him up a bit. Can I not at least have that?
Okay, can I then at least make the friendly request of not joining forces with an Invictus on this? Because they're gonna shred us to bits, and not just him. That's gonna rain down on all of us. So can I at least ask you to bruise him up on your own?
Julia begins kind of scraping at his face because she makes a valid point of what's been going on. This could be another excuse for the Invictus to do something. He's like, why can't you guys just get along so we can just have these petty arguments in peace?
I mean, it wasn't us who made the first move, but we'll sure as hell finish it if need be.
You know what, mate? And Marcus will try his best to get the attention of Julian. Don't worry, mate. We'll find the fucker. We'll rough him up. We'll teach him not to make a fool of you, and we'll just leave it there. No calling cards, no thing. You know, just a good old 1-2. What you say?
You know what?
And yes, I promise that we'll leave him maximum torpid, but nothing worse.
I don't want to talk about this anymore. I want my steak and potatoes, and I want a very large glass of rum.
You know what? I can help out with that. And Marcus produces a hip flask. Captain, the captain's best. Here you go. I'll go and order the food in the meantime. What kind of steak do you want?
So medium rare. So make
Medium
sure the
rare.
potatoes have
Gotcha.
extra onions, and he'll spit
Extra
in first
onions.
out of the
Mhm.
glass.
Yeah, Marcus just nods and then just heads straight and does the order and everything. Even pays in
mean,
advance.
Ellie is not going to join them in eating. Like, she kind of makes a face at the rum and says, well, sorry things ended out this way, and I hope you guys have a good meal. Oh.
Julie would look over to Alley Cat and say, I was like, it would be one thing if I did this to myself. I have been causing problems for myself in these past few months due to my negligence or just being unlucky. And I've had to deal with that, and it was for Irons and the Ordo and the court, making things don't absolutely fall apart around my head. I would be in dire straits right now. And then when I finally got everything put together, my company is going to be releasing this drug in the market within the next quarter. I said, I was like, and he points to himself. No cuts, no scars, no nothing. I haven't been like this way in weeks. I'm not hungry for once because I've had to waste my essence keeping myself put together. And I come out to a new casino that I've never heard of to be normal for a few hours without being on the floor at my company. And this happens.
Right.
Well,
Marcus hurries back.
I can't help you with what happened. You know that. Like, what happened happened. It's in the past now. How about this then for sort of, sorry for your lost thing, and more on like the lost evening. You need help. At least you got one person to back you up at some time. Okay.
Well, actually two, as Marcus comes back and
I
has
mean,
heard that part.
I can't speak for you, mate.
I know. Anyway, food is ordered. It'll be ready in a quarter of an hour.
Ellie kind of has her hand outstretched for Julian to shake it if he wants. If he doesn't, he can just leave it, and she knows enough.
He does, but it is extra firm.
Yeah, I mean, she has resilience. She's like, okay. He kind of shrugs and says, well, you guys enjoy your food. I can't believe you guys can eat that. But see you around.
See you around. Have a good night. He waves, smiling, but that sort of smile that says like, "Thank you, please go now."
And as everybody parts ways, would it be a good thing to end the scene there?
It's okay. Whatever Marcus wanted to tell Julian, I can do it in a PM. It's not that important.
Oh well, that's fine.
Spooky ghost must remain invisibles.
Yes.
But I think with that, as everybody sort of goes their own ways, we'll end the scene there. Thank you, players for playing. Thank you, watchers for watching, and we'll see you all next time. Bye bye.